Oh, yeah. So I felt to do a video of the inappropriate attire of mujeres, señoritas, aka females, aka we men. Alright? Women. Not women as in us men, but women as in madams. Because the madams in the West world are very unruly in their dress code. They are unruly in their dress code. They are unruly in their dress code, and it is not like in the East. You know, in the East, there are strict rules on the attire of women, but in the West, it's like anything goes. And it is very ungodly for how the females carry themselves publicly. It is very challenging and difficult for men in the West world, because in the West world the attire of women is beyond explicit. It is more like one big porn images walking throughout the streets, and you either take it as it is or go somewhere out of the world. No, it's very hard. Even in the churches, the women are very sexy. And people think that this sexiness is cool. They think it's awesome. It deserves its praise and so on. A Christian should not let anyone call them sexy, because sexy is not of God. Sexy is of the devil. It was orchestrated in hell. Sexy was literally invented to deflect men from the path, men and women from the path of God to the path of Satan. So sexy is not cool. Sexy is demonic. Sexy is anti-Christ, anti-God, anti-righteous, anti-family. Sexy is the number one of the biggest reason why relationships are not able to survive. You can leave your house with a good meditation, a godly meditation, and by the time you reach like 50, not even 50, maybe 20 feet away from your house, it's like you have dived into a sea of mermaids. They're literally mermaids. And the competition among women of this sexy dressing is very, very, very high. It's like the women are saying to each other, we are going to see who's most sexy. And it's very hard for men. A lot of men are in hell now because of sexy. And it is becoming more and more out of control. Women are literally walking through the streets with jean pants looking like panties. They are jean pants, but they look like panties. Yeah, they are as panty as panty can be. These jean pants go all the way up. And that is very, very, very filthy. It's nasty. And it is ungodly. And Jesus hates it. I'm telling you. Jesus hates it. And the world praise it. The sexier a woman, the more she receives praise. You even have sexy kids now. It might sound funny, but you literally have sexy kids. And what they don't understand is that they are provoking the pedophiles to come out like wolves. They have sexy kids. Kids that are sexy. How did it come like that? Their parents. They have sexy parents, so the parents influence the children to be sexy also. A child should not be taken to this level of depravity. A child should be dressed as a child and not as a whore. A child should not be out in the public looking like a little whore. Today, it is like that today. Children are also sexy. And then they wonder why they are raped and kidnapped. Today, relationship is almost impossible. It is almost impossible because I do believe that there are individuals who still believe in fidelity. And true children of God, they preserve this part of life. They are people who are faithful children of God. I'm not talking about church goers, There's a difference between church goers and children of God. Okay? And I know that there are cases where a person could look holier than thou and can be a wild thing behind closed doors. Okay, I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about a person who is serious with God. But sexy attire, men and women, men also, not just women, but men. Sexy automatically brings a person on the path that leads to hell. Okay? Sexy brings a person on the path that leads to hell. So if you are a Christian and you have sexy attires that flamboyantly show your shape and your figure and your muscles and your hips and your titties and your cleavage and whatever, you are promoting the devil's work. Therefore, you have come in agreement with Satan because it belongs to Satan. It does not belong to God. There is no sexy female in heaven. There is none in heaven. If you have found one, then something is wrong. It's not heaven. Sexy female only exists on this filthy earth. Okay? And a Christian should not be partaking in those in sexy attire. A Christian must not. A Christian must show the example of what a Christian man should look like and a Christian woman should look like. There are also sexy men. Now, I'm not saying this with the intention to trigger gayness or homosexuality-ness or whatever you want to call. I said it because it's being ignored as a fact and as a reality, and it needs to be brought to the attention of Christian men and women. There are sexy Christian men who go to the gym and pump their muscles up, put on their marinas, and go out in the public and make the women lust. They got mermaid men and mermaid women, mermen and mermaids. All right? And you need to know that if you are a merman, which is a man who dresses sexy, you also is literally walking on the path that leads to hell. And I'm going to explain why. In Matthew 5:28, the Bible said, "But I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart." And the Bible clearly said no adulterer will enter the kingdom of God. Okay? The Bible said that. No adulterer or adulteresses. Okay? Like in James chapter 4 verse 4, the Bible said, "You adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that making friendship with the world is enmity with God?" So the world, the deeds of the world are also adultery and adulteress. Okay, adulterer and an adulteress. And a man could literally cause a woman to lust by showing his muscles and his tight jeans with his testicles popping out looking like Superman. Yeah, women get turned on on those things, but they have not talk about that. That has not been brought to the attention of the public. Where women are also turned on. You have men with chests and their abdomen and all of that is showing out in their marinas, and they are Christians. They literally go to the pulpit and preach. Okay? You are a man, you cannot do that, because you also fall in the category of being an adulterer, because you literally are making women lusting at your muscles. So it is not only women. However, women are commonly showing their body parts like hot bread. You go anywhere in the public, you are sure to see a prostitute type of image in the attire of women. Women all over the place are looking like prostitutes now. And if you say this in the presence of women, they are going to be offended and they are going to tell you off. Say, "Hey, you're not. Who are you to judge?" Yes, who am I to judge? The Bible said, right, that there are matters in the body of God that need to be addressed. And if you are a Christian and you profess Christianity, there is an expectation of you. People expect you to be godly. So you can't be dressing like no whore and expect a person to look at you like a sister. I cannot look at a prostitute as a sister, because a prostitute has the image that seduces. Okay? A prostitute has the image that seduces. And so if I were to see you in church and all your titties bouncing like two big dumpling and basketball, then I no longer can look at you as a sister. I would see you as a prostitute, turning me on. Now you might say, "Why are you so easily turned on?" You must understand that I was being created, okay, by God to have an attraction for women. Okay? Not in a sense of saying that I was being created by God to lust at woman, but it's a natural thing for me or any man to draw to a woman, because there's a chemistry that was being created between the man and the woman, but this chemistry can be perverted. It can be perverted. Okay, you can see a female and you could see that she's a beautiful female, and that's just it. You can see a man and see that he's a handsome man, and that's about it. But whenever it has been taken beyond that, it has fallen in the category of perversion. And that's what the devil does. He perverts things. He perverts things. And the perversion comes in when you dress like a whore, aka whore. I don't want to say it in the Spanish, because in the Spanish term it sounds too violent. But God did not create the body of a woman to be shown and display as a whore. Also, God did not create a man for him to show off his muscles to turn on women. We got to understand that we are still in the sinful nature. And when you come in the church and you dress like a prostitute, you are going to make it difficult for the deacon and pastors to focus. Yeah, you're going to make Christian men want to go home and masturbate. These things do exist, where brothers go in the church and they see a sexy sister wearing a type of elastic type of body wear that shows all the shapes in her body. Makes it difficult for the brothers. And if a brother is weak, he is going to go home and get his Vaseline, and then I'm not going to go any further. But these things do exist, and then he's going to feel bad. But there's a sister or sisters in the church that are provoking him with their sexy jeans that is exposing their buttocks, and the pastor is not saying anything because the pastor himself is carried away with lust. The whole thing is one big mess, but it takes people to hell. Sexy dressing will take you straight to hell. First class ticket. I'm telling you straight up. I'm not going to give you no ice cream gospel or no hip-titty-doo-dah gospel or we eat cookies every day gospel or no let me not call no name, but I'm going to give you the two-edged sword. If you dress sexy and you keep being adamant and ignorant in your sexy dressing and justify your sexiness, you're going to go straight to hell sexy. Telling you. And there's no sexy female in hell. Everybody in hell is burning by fire. You ain't got time to be sexy in hell. Okay? Hell is about torment. Okay, so you need to turn. Get rid of all your sexy clothes. That's not for God's people. Now, I can't talk to the world and in this same manner, because the world, they are under the influence of the devil. So in a sense, it's like they don't know better. But you Christians who know better, you got to stop your sexy dressing. Even the preachers' wives. You can't be going on the pulpit with all your sexy legs and expect the men them to stay holy. No. You provoke the men to lust, they're going to lust, and it's going to be hard for them to focus. They're supposed to be reading about Moses, but they are thinking about some Tinkerbell, because you mess up their mind with your sexy dressing. In 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 9, this is about sexiness too. You might say, no, yes, it's about that. Sexiness could fall in this category. In like manner also, the women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Now, how can you consider a jean that is transpiring your booties as modest apparel? How can you justify a tank top where your titties are showing like two jacket booster as modest apparel? That's not modest. A lot of women are in church are not dressed in modest. Even the men in their tight clothes showing their testicles. You think that don't turn the women them on? It does turn the women on. So kind of slacken yourself up a little bit in the pants. Don't make it too tight, or you're going to turn the females on with your chest, your tight shirt and chest up. No, be careful. With shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 9. And I know that if you are angry, it is because you are one of those people who like sexy, and you justify it as right. No, it's not right. It causes relationships to torn apart. Marriages are torn